Hi, this is my fifth vlog looking at agility. For this vlog, I chose to perform the S180 degrees agility test as outlined in this review article by Goran Sporis and colleagues. The test involves 4 180-degree turns off the same foot. The first is after 9 meters before 3 quick turns performed after 3, 6 and 3 meters before finishing with a 12-meter sprint, as shown in the previous figure and demonstrated by myself in the video. As outlined in the brief for this vlog, the test was new to me and I wanted to perform it myself as I was recently introduced to it as part of a research project I was involved with. In their review, Sporis and colleagues conclude that the test is one of the most reliable and valid tests for estimating the agility of soccer players, and working in soccer, I was also drawn to explore it further myself. As evident, this test looks at the change of direction speed component of agility performance, specifically lateral turns. Looking at the technical model for lateral change of direction, it is evident my foot placement is not optimal. An open foot placement is less efficient and also increases the risk of injury. I also perform a curved change of direction, which is less effective than a sharper turn. There are also issues relating to my arm mechanics during the final sprint, which can be seen even more clearly when compared to the optimal technical model. I also fail to open up my stride as I accelerate from the final turn. There are, however, positives in my technique, and I correctly shorten my steps as I approach the turns and adopt a lower body position, both of these helping me to effectively change direction quickly. To overcome my poor foot placement, I initially performed closed drills with a side shuffle change of direction, progressing from a stick finish to a shuffle back, and then finally a more open reactive drill by getting an individual to call stop. The task then became more specific to the drill by incorporating a sprint after the turn, and this can also become more reactive with the call. Once the shuffle into the change of direction is correct, I began to run into the turn, again initially sticking before progressing to a turn and run, and finally adding a reactive call. The final stage was to incorporate multiple turns like the test, and the next addition was that of 2 turns, firstly off different feet and then the same foot. To encourage a tighter turn, I performed all these drills with a coned channel, cueing me not to curve my run, and after seeing my arm swing, cued myself to have a better arm mechanics throughout the drills, driving them closer to my body. To help open my stride, I laid cones that progressively got further apart to cue a progressively longer step stride as I accelerated out of the turn. I also included various plyometric single leg hops to help encourage a more effective foot placement. These progressed in difficulty and incorporated turns where possible. All the drills were performed on both feet, and I spent a week practicing these drills before performing the test again. My aim with the drills used to help improve my performance were to develop from a basic closed drill of sticking laterally by slowly adding more aspects of the movement, testing this new movement in an open nature where possible. I was unable to complete the test in the same location, and familiarization would also have been an issue, but as I was performing the test as a technical drill rather than test, these were issues I wasn't really too concerned with. As you can see, my foot placement improved during the second round of testing, and I now adopted a position where my toes are more forward, closer to the optimal technical model. I failed to perform a tighter turn in the test itself, however looking at the turns during the practice exercise I performed these in a much tighter action, and I feel with more time this movement would appear in the test itself. Cueing myself in regard to my arm swing was sufficient to improve this issue, and I feel that continuing to be aware of it alongside sprint mechanics drills like those from my last vlog would further improve my technique. Like my arm mechanics, I feel that my step pattern opened more after the practice drills, and further work with cone step progressions would only lead to more improvements. In conclusion, I feel that the drills helped to improve my foot placement more than other aspects of my technique, and this was largely as this issue was involved in more of the drills than the other components. I would also consider it easier issue to address in comparison to sprint mechanic ones, which are more ingrained and harder tractor state to change in such a short time. They may also link to my sporting background, which includes several racket sports. The test itself was considered the most appropriate for a central midfielder in the review by Sporis and colleagues, and I can see where the authors got this conclusion from. Correctly performing a lateral turn is the fundamental for more advanced turns. For example, the correct foot placement during a lateral turn can then be utilised when performing a cut. I personally feel more soccer-specific movement patterns identified using GPS and video-based software may provide an even more valid test of agility's performance in soccer